Today, we're going to go on this absolutely incredible adventure. Not to some faraway place, but deep, deep inside our own bodies. We're going to follow a simple sandwich from the very first bite all the way to its final destination, feeling every single one of your cells.
You know that feeling, right? You've just finished a meal. You're feeling pretty full. But the real work, the amazing work, has only just begun. So ever really stop to think about what happens next? Well, we're about to pull back the curtain on this incredible biological journey. So our journey kicks off where every food journey does, in the mouth. And you gotta understand, this isn't just an entrance. No way. It's more like the first high-tech processing plant where the magic of digestion really gets going. Right off the bat, it's all about mechanics. Your teeth are these amazing grinders, right? They tear, they crush, they mash food into a paste. But this isn't just about making it small enough to swallow. The real genius here is that it massively increases the surface area for all the chemical reactions that are about to kick off.
So let's break down that sandwich. What's our body really after here? Well, the bread is giving us carbohydrates, which are our main source of quick energy. And then you've got the meat, which is just packed with proteins. You know, the essential building blocks for pretty much everything in our bodies.
The end game for all those carbohydrates in the bread is to break them down into this stuff, glucose. It's a simple sugar, and it's basically the body's favorite fuel. This little molecule is what's eventually going to power everything you do, from blinking your eyes to running a marathon. Now, the proteins from the meat, that's a whole different story. Just look at these incredibly complex, folded structures. They're like these intricate little molecular machines that have to be carefully taken apart, piece by piece, into their individual parts. We call those amino acids, before our body can actually use them to build new things. But digestion isn't all just grinding and mashing, you know? The second you start chewing, chemistry kicks in. Your saliva is loaded with this enzyme called salivary amylase. The best way to think of it is like a pair of molecular scissors that immediately start snipping apart those long starch chains from the bread into much simpler sugars. All right, so once we swallow, where is this sandwich mush, now officially called a bolus, headed next? Here's the basic roadmap for its trip through the gastrointestinal tract. It goes from the mouth, down to the stomach, then through the super long, winding small intestine, and finally to the large intestine. Next up, the stomach. And this, my friends, is where things get really intense. I mean, think of it as an acid bath and a powerful churning machine all rolled into one. Inside the stomach, that food is getting pummeled by muscle contractions, mixing it all up with gastric acid that is so corrosive it could literally dissolve iron nails. It's like a biological cement mixer, breaking down proteins, killing off nasty bacteria, and turning our food into this soupy mixture called chyme. Okay, but hold on a second. This brings up a pretty big question, doesn't it? If the stomach's acid is strong enough to dissolve meat, why on earth doesn't it just digest the stomach itself? The answer is this absolutely incredible defense system called the mucosal barrier. It's a three-pronged defense. First, it has this thick mucus layer that neutralizes the acid. Second, the cells are locked together in these leak-proof seals. But this last part, this is what's truly wild. Your body completely rebuilds the entire stomach lining every 3 to 6 days. It is constantly rebuilding its own shield. Amazing. So, after surviving that acid bath, our chyme moves into the next and maybe the most important stage of its journey, the small intestine. This is where the real business of getting nutrients into our body happens. So, the small intestine, it's not just some long coiled tube. It is a masterpiece of design. Its walls are lined with millions of these tiny finger-like projections that create a massive surface area. Get this, about the size of a tennis court, all to make sure we can absorb as much of those sugars and amino acids as possible right into the bloodstream. But the small intestine doesn't go it alone. Oh no. It calls in the cavalry. The pancreas sends in this cocktail of powerful enzymes to finish breaking down proteins and carbs. Meanwhile, the liver makes bile, which is crucial for tackling any fats in our meal, breaking them down so they can be absorbed too. And just like that, our nutrients have officially crossed the border. They've left the digestive system and are now in the bloodstream. It's time to hit the body's superhighway for a system-wide delivery. Now this superhighway, it has two main types of roads. Take a look on the left, that's an artery. See that thick, muscular wall? It has to be that strong to handle the high-pressure flow of blood coming straight from the heart. Now compare that to the vein on the right. It's got a much thinner wall because it's handling the lower pressure return trip. As that blood travels away from the heart, the pressure drops a lot.
especially as it gets into the tiniest little vessels, the capillaries. And this slowdown is completely by design. It's absolutely essential because it gives the blood enough time to make its deliveries, dropping off all that precious glucose and amino acids from our sandwich to the cells that are desperate for them.
And that brings us here, to the final destination of this epic journey. This is the whole point of eating that sandwich in the first place, delivering fuel to every single one of your individual cells.
And we are talking about a delivery operation on a scale that is it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. That number on your screen, that's 37 trillion. That's the estimated number of cells in your body, and every single one of them is waiting for its fuel delivery to stay alive and do its job.
So every one of those cells takes that glucose that started out in the bread and turns it into a molecule called ATP. Now, ATP is basically the energy currency of all life. Think of it like a tiny rechargeable battery that powers every little machine inside every one of your cells. It's the only currency they accept to get work done.
Isn't that just incredible? From just one type of stem cell, your body creates this huge variety of specialized cells. Neurons for thinking, muscles for moving, skin for protection. And the one thing they all have in common, they are all powered by the ATP that was generated from the food you eat.
It's really a process that is both mind-bogglingly complex and just beautifully efficient. The journey from a simple bite of a sandwich to you having a complex thought is a direct line, and it's all connected by this amazing internal system.
So the next time you sit down to eat, just take a moment to think about this journey. You're not just filling your stomach. You are literally powering a universe within you. Which, leads to one final question. What are you going to fuel your 37 trillion cells with next?